Yeah, good old Killer Mike. So Killer Mike was, I don't know, he was being interviewed talking about content creators and stuff in Atlanta. One of the gentlemen that interviewed him is a creator. And I just saw him running off names of people that were in Atlanta, just giving props to people that are behind the scenes. I want you guys to watch this video and see just how he talks about it. And then I have a question to pose as it relates to us and just our region, which I think is the total opposite of what we see from Mike in this video.
Atlanta needs to do a better job of telling our story. You know what I'm saying? We have so many talented people there. You tend to only see the people that's in front of the camera and think that's them. But man, for every one artist, man, you got 10, 12 Ray Daniels, 10, 12 legendary Jerrys, Jerry Clark. You got people like Cuz Lightyear on the come up there. You got teams around people like Kenny Mason.
So I've lived in the Midwest my whole life, other than a few stints here and there. Lived in Chicago, but obviously we're from Indiana.
That's the Midwest.
It's still I'm just giving where, brother. Just where.
Okay.
Just where.
Okay.
Yeah, just
I
where.
thought you were trying to differentiate.
Context, brother. Just context. Yeah, just context.
All right. You've lived other places.
Yeah, just context.
All right,
still Midwest.
All right, brother.
Yeah, but I never hear people from our region talk glowingly about a place that they're from. This has been an idea in my mind that's been consistent since I've been following music. The South seems to be this way, not all the time, but more than not. And I still have not been able to understand why I don't see it here. I might see it a little bit more in Chicago, but I never see people.
I see it a lot more in Chicago.
Fair enough. But I never.
Chicago can't stop telling you about.
But I never see people glowingly talk about not only just the artists, the producers, the videographers, the blogs, the websites. I don't see people talking in that manner with like, fam had some pride when he was talking about all the people that some of the people I ain't even know. But he's like, we got 12 of these, 12 of these, 12 of these. I never understood what the disconnect is. So I'm just throwing it out there, man, because even though I've been a part of the scene here, you guys have really been here. I'm here back and forth. I've moved, I've come back. Me and Long grew up together, so I've been around. You guys have always been here. I just don't see it.
The South is different though.
That's what I'm getting to, bro. Like, tell me why. What's the disconnect?
I mean, the South. There's a different type of person in the South.
Okay.
Different type of mannerism, a different type of greeting, a different type of respect. Like, you have people even come here from the South and they might wave and speak to you, and you don't do the same thing. They don't feel welcome. They don't like that because that's not their experience in the South, and that's just the South overall. As far as support, a local point of view, Indiana and Naptown, Anderson, Fort Wayne, whatever, Gary, everybody's so fickle here when it comes to support. And we've talked about that before. You have to pop or be heard about from somewhere else for everybody else to kind of back you, so to speak. Situation was going on about a week or so ago involving Kitty Red, and now she's talking about Sexy Red kind of stole her style, right? So unfortunately, a lot of people was like, we don't know who she is, or they're not paying attention to who she is. She's just trying to get some clout off Sexy Red.
Right.
When she actually had some receipts to kind of prove that they had been in conversations at some point in time and was able to kind of prove her case. But Kitty Red is not the one in the spotlight right now.
Right.
It's Sexy Red.
Right.
So it's almost like, I hate to say bandwagoning, so to speak, but that's kind of what it is. It's a weird vibe, like, here as far as that's concerned. Like, certain people get support no matter what. So, like, Maxie literally puts the city on his back. He has a shot.
Well deserved.
Nap or nothing.
Well deserved.
You can't deny people like him. You can't deny people like Tragic. You know what I'm saying? These people have made stamps in the city and have continued to speak nothing but Naptown. So you can't deny them. They're like mayors. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. 100%.
Now, other people don't have that same type of reach. So it takes somebody from almost another city. Like, for example, remember when Tully C and Abe Links got on because somebody had heard them from someone from out of town.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
We've literally been telling people, or bringing out a band has been a hub for a lot of dope artists. Just want to put that out there. been sharing, talking about, push these artists to the forefront. Nobody pays attention until somebody from somewhere else, and it's like, oh, why didn't nobody tell me? It's
we
like
have been.
we have been. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird that we have to go through that, and I don't think it's just our city. I think we pay attention to it here because we're here. I think this kind of happens everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it's just, again, we're not the South. The South is different. Like I think that's why people think they can run to Atlanta and they're gonna just, you know what I'm saying, welcome them with open arms and put them on.
I will say this.
It doesn't work like that.
I will say this. Southern hospitality is a real thing.
It is.
I got family in the South, been going to the South since I was a child. So to his point about that, that's 100% accurate. That part of the South is correct. Go ahead, Lona. I know you were about to say something.
No, I was just gonna say people also run to LA. You know what I mean?
They also run to New York.
And people from here also run anywhere besides here. You know, like I don't have a huge perspective of living in another city, so I can't really speak on what it's really like. You know what I mean? Like, I know what it's like here, and I can definitely speak on that. And I don't know if that is a uniquely Midwest or Indianapolis thing. I don't think that it is.
I'm gonna be honest.
There might be some sort of element that come into play from the southern angle, maybe, but there are other southern cities too. You know,
to be honest with you, Lone, after living in Chicago and living out east, as it relates to just what we're talking about, local support artists, how they're received, who talks about who, it is definitely different here.
In what way?
Everything that Terry just talked about in terms of just how the landscape of how things work, it's definitely
one
different.
of the things that I've always kind of hypothesized in myself, and I probably shared it with you guys, is that like I feel like this is one of those cities where sounds bad, but it's like you almost have to have a cosign from somebody else to even be acknowledged sometimes. It's like you can't be great at the thing you do unless somebody else bigger than you says that you're also great. Like they need to be told that, oh, this is actually great, as opposed to just observing and being like, oh no, this is actually great. I want to get it behind it. And now this isn't everybody.
No, not at all.
But in general, it feels that way a lot of times.
It does.
And it's weird. And Terry and I have witnessed this a lot with artists. In real time with artists that we have put out and shared and put out locally and nationally.
Talk to them.
I mean, putting people onto stuff to where like you see people gravitate towards them years later. And it's maybe people need a time to catch up or maybe it's a personality thing. I don't honestly know exactly. It's always fascinated me though that, it seems very much, and I'm not trying to down Indianapolis or anything like that, but it just feels like, you have to you have to have that cosign before people want to spend their time to pay attention to if you're good or not.
It's just
at anything that you do.
It's like a case study, bro. I've always wondered about it because I would be lying. I'd be capping if I said there isn't some support here. I've been supported. We've all been supported before. So I get that part. But the dynamic as it relates to when you just hear people glowingly talk about their city and just naming all these random people, some we know, some that we don't. And it's like it's a sense of pride about it. Yo, man, there's 11 of these guys, 12 of these guys. I just don't see that.
This is not a networking capital. I'll say that.
Fair enough.
So
fair enough.
You go to these bigger cities, their whole thing is about networking. They literally have events where the whole event, it might be fun. I mean, we have them here too.
True.
But they have them like on the weekly in these bigger cities. Like the whole event is about networking, meeting somebody. You might have a good idea that goes with this idea that this person has too. Let's get together. Let's make it happen. They're more so in tune to create an opportunity for somebody else because it's going to benefit themselves as well. Like I've literally been to Atlanta, walked into like a hookah bar and talked to the person that runs the place. Hey, I'm a DJ. Oh, really? Sit you down, talk to you. What you need to drink, whenever you're in town, let me know. I might be able to put you on tonight. This is literally what happens there.
Yeah.
Just from conversation.
Yeah.
I can do the same thing here. Walk into a place, just because such and such doesn't know who I am. I might have the same conversation with the bar owner and they just be like, oh, okay. And just gone about their business. Whereas there it's more so like, I'm trying to program this night. If you come in I like what you're talking about, and it pops off, then we got some. He's also going to give the next person a chance too. They're not trying to hold people back, and I'm not saying that happens here, but there's a lot of favoritism when it comes to certain things and certain elements of, especially music. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be put in front of the people that you want to be put in front of just off the strength of you on your own. It has to include other people saying that, nah, this is who you need to pay attention to. And a lot of times it's people from outside of even the circles that people respect.
I think a lot of it, the difference in opinion and difference in perception, even with Killer Mike talking about, he's about this 12 of this, which 12 of this. Think about Outkast's album came out 30 years ago at this point. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what Atlanta has, and they had success before this, but Atlanta has 30 years of musical success to have built an infrastructure that there's so many people who have been successful in the music industry that comes from on a national level that come from Atlanta, that you can say, okay, yes, that person can do this. They can do this for you. They can do that for you. Unfortunately, despite all of the strides Indianapolis has just made in the last decade, we still don't have that one person or group where we can say, yes, they're from here. They've done this. You need to come back and holler at some of this other talent. Now, mind you, the landscape of how the music industry has changed. I mean, because like you can say that for the city. You can say that for Chicago. You can say that for Memphis. You can say that for St. Louis. Unfortunately, Indianapolis has had looks, but they haven't had that one where you can be like, okay, yeah, that's what Indianapolis is doing. We have what I consider to be an infrastructure, a hip hop economy, where we have our own festival. Mm-hmm. We have our own stores. We have our own studios. Mm-hmm. We have more than one festival that's centered around, black culture, hip hop culture, whatever you would like to call it. But unfortunately, there isn't that one person that brought that platinum record. I mean, Babyface, but that's different.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but that's more Gary.
But but I'm talking about in within 460
from the hip hop point of view,
from somebody who has brought a platinum or even a gold plaque back to 465.
And I think it breeds, that alone might breed a scarcity kind of mindset within the people within the city a little bit. To try to hold on to any little bit of clout or anything that they can. It's like people want to be that person, as opposed to just sharing in it. You know what I mean? And I don't know. There are a lot of people that do a lot of really great things here. Yeah, you know what I mean.
And to Terry's point, there's other cities that probably have the same situation.
It's literally the same thing, and that's what I hate about being here and hearing people down the city based on them thinking their experience here, or if they go somewhere else, it's going to be different. No, it's going to be the same. You just don't know those people. Mm-hmm. You haven't been through that system to know that that system actually works the same way that it works here. You're just used to it here because you're around it. You're paying attention to it. When you go somewhere else, it's not going to be different based off of your same situation. It's going to be different because it's a new surrounding. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, and look, it's sometimes I think we're looking through the lens of success, only through, okay, this person's not a national star. We don't have this. We don't have that. But at the same time, I've talked about this in more than one occasion on more than one platform. I was like, look, do you know how incredible it is that we do have a hip hop festival here?
Facts.
There are larger cities who have more resources as far as artists and managers and producers or whatever, who for whatever reason have not come up with a hip hop festival in these larger cities, who have brand names as far as, there's no hip hop festival in Chicago, St. Louis, Memphis, not one that I've heard of.
Well, Rolling Loud, they get the bigger festivals that national artists are coming to.
Okay, so you talk about a
Rolling Loud is huge.
Yeah, but that's Rolling Loud. That has no regional actual affiliation.
It's not showcasing the local talent.
No, so you have to already be on to be booked at Rolling Loud. You have to already have some sort of connection.
True.
And some people will say, well, you got to have some connections to get on at Treese. Yeah, but it doesn't have to be through the Universal Music Group.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't have to be signed to CIAA, or that's something else, but CIA, whatever.
That's a conference, but that's all right. That's all right.
I know
that's all right.
There's some, whatever. There's some big management group in LA that handles, once you've made it and you've got people who are really behind you, CAA, that's what it is.
There you go.
And people are like, oh, an independent artist. Yeah, but you signed to like this big management label and like you have a push behind you. There are people who are looking to set up your brand deals and make sure that, you get a Happy Meal once you get a hit record.
See, that's what bothers me about our demographic and how we move, because we're actually doing the right steps as far as showcasing people or creating, situations where people can be seen, and other people that have the power to make that move aren't stepping in to make sure that they get it to the next level. Y'all follow what I'm saying?
No,
I follow you.
Yeah.
Because Indianapolis is doing the work. When you came here for All Star, and there was a whole thing that was there was the whole situation. We had all the hip hop that was showcased downtown.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who was not from here who came through there got an opportunity to see artistically what Indianapolis is about. That was us saying, hey, I knew people that came here and were like, wow, this is dope. You guys do. And I was like, this is just one part. This is the Treese part that we're doing for the All-Star game. But we have a whole festival that hits in August. And it's like, man, we don't have anything like this in our city. People were thoroughly impressed at how we present our artists to the world.
That's real.
I'm going to say one last piece on that. And I think, we have a lot of things that have been established and created here. I mean, I have to give shouts to Indiana Jones, rest in peace.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Because he was one of the main people in this city that connected a lot of people to the music industry in that way. And even if it wasn't in the forefront, through his connections, a lot of stuff was created, and he laid a lot of groundwork.
Facts.
For a lot of people and a lot of artists and just the culture of hip hop here. And I feel like we took a major hit when he passed away.
Yeah. We did.
But with that being said, there are lots of things that have been created here that have lasted. There are individuals that are continually to curate the culture in a variety of different ways. And, I have to, I don't want to leave anybody out, but I'm just going to say some names. But the people, Oreo Jones started Treese. He got a whole bunch of people together that were doing things, and it was a collective thing to create something bigger than himself.
Right.
He brought Indiana Jones on board. He brought Jay Brookins on board, who is also somebody who has spent decades doing the same thing. When you go back to even before that, when you talk about Heavy Gun, the Heavy Gun blog to the Gateway stuff he was doing. And then you talk about the Beat Battle and then the Beat Battle League, and Metronome was a part of the Beat Battles as well. And, he's helping out with this. Then obviously there's DJ Metronome as well, and everything that he's a part of that everybody knows and that everybody doesn't know. Nick Nick does a lot, especially for the DJ community and the sound community. And
his work with Butter, the
Butter,
upcoming arts festival.
Butter as well,
which is something else that's national.
There's a lot of people that have put in a lot of work. You could even mention shouts to Rambo Hustle, and he did his Naptown Connect thing. And I don't know if he's still doing that as much as he was, but he was blogging just Naptown hip hop for a long time.
That was important.
Yeah, and those things are important. And even still, the bringing down the band, the fact that the milestone that it just hit is important, because that is founded and started in Indiana.
Right.
That is an Indiana thing. The New Old Heads podcast that has 400 episodes of four guys talking about hip hop culture continually for 8 years. Those type of things are the things beyond us, but those are the type of things that build up a culture to eventually get to a point to where it can be like in Atlanta.
True.
And, we need more things like that. And there are lots of people that are starting things all the time in different sects all over the place. Sex, not sex.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
But, I think one thing that Terry and I have always talked about was man, I really wish people, and it's a little bit selfish, but not really, but we always, from an angle of wish people got behind the stuff we were doing at bringing down the band a little bit more here, only because, not for us, but because of the more people that are a part of something, just the same way people got behind Treese.
Yeah.
It just brings everything up. And when something's created like that, the more people that really get behind it and really stay active in it, no matter what it is important. And So shouts to all the people that are out here creating, doing it. And there's a bunch of other festivals. There's people on the South Side doing stuff. There's different sections of hip hop in the city of people doing a bunch of stuff. And
that's dope.
The Naptown DJ Fest that just passed.
Yeah,
Shout to DJ Long Green.
And all the people that are out here being creatives and doing things outside that are important for the city to grow and the culture to grow around it. It's a hard business. It's not a lot of thanks involved. But it's very important. So I just, if you're out there doing that, just keep doing it.
Yeah. They say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
You can make it in Indianapolis. You can make it anywhere.
You can make it anywhere.
Literally. Because
straight up,
like to your point of, as far as bringing down a band is literally the fake shore drive of Indianapolis.
This is true.
You see how every artist in Chicago got behind fake shore drive. From a guy that's running it that wasn't even from there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we were literally building that same thing, and for people not to understand, like some people did.
Yeah, some people did, absolutely.
Some people did, but it takes movement to make a wave.
I saw that happen in real time. I remember when it first started, and I remember watching it, and then slowly but surely. And it's not, it's the local groundswell, but it's the big names coming down.
And granted, it is a bigger market, but at the same time, like what Andrew did with Fake Shore Drive was really monumental for the city of Chicago.
Legendary.
Because like it became a hub for the city.
The fact that he was able to go there and plant his flag and actually embrace the city and ride for it, which is authentic. Like it's genuine. Like he's embedded there now. So, he's done a great job with it. But you're right, bro. I saw the groundswell, and it took those names, just a handful of those, to kind of get up under there, and it was a wrap.
And to be honest, I don't blame anybody for lack of support or anything like that, or not catching on or seeing the mission, and out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? Like part of that is on me and us for not communicating that in a better way, right? True. But man,
we're still here though.
We're still here. We're still doing it.
Still got a plan.
And I think it's just continue to support the creatives, man, because it's hard. It's hard out here.
I like that. That's a good ending spot.